The Gettysburg Orphanage, officially called the National Homestead at Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, has a chilling and tragic history steeped in horror, mistreatment, and paranormal lore that haunts it to this day. Founded in 1866 by Dr. John F. Bournes, this orphanage aimed to provide a refuge for children who had lost their fathers in the Civil War, a common tragedy in post-war America. It was a hopeful sanctuary at first, but over the years, this hope was overshadowed by stories of abuse, neglect, and ghostly apparitions. Explore with us, where we'll uncover one of the orphanage's most terrifying paranormal mysteries, a story so chilling it has left even seasoned ghost hunters afraid to return. Be sure to stay tuned until the end to find out how you can experience these hauntings yourself, with details on how to take your own hair-raising tour through the eerie halls of the Gettysburg Orphanage. The beginnings of the orphanage. When Dr. Bournes founded the orphanage, it was intended to offer a place of healing for the children who had lost their fathers, particularly those who had died at the Battle of Gettysburg. After its opening, the orphanage was initially run with care, and the children were treated with compassion. However, by 1870, things took a dark turn. Dr. Bournes relinquished control of the orphanage, which allowed a new headmistress, Rosa Carmichael, to take over. Rosa Carmichael, once a respected member of the community, was eventually known as a cruel, abusive authority figure who reigned over the orphanage with an iron fist. The horror stories that followed her appointment would later transform the orphanage's legacy from a place of solace to one of torment. The rule of Rosa Carmichael, a legacy of cruelty. Under Rosa Carmichael's authority, a reign of terror began for the children of the orphanage. Carmichael employed excessively harsh disciplinary measures that ranged from beatings to various forms of physical and mental punishment. Her most notorious act was the construction of a small cell in the basement of the orphanage, a place that would come to be known as the dungeon. Carmichael reportedly used this cell to punish children who disobeyed her strict rules. According to accounts, children would be chained to the walls of this cramped, damp cell for hours or even days on end. Left alone in the darkness, they would be denied food, water, or contact with anyone. Some accounts even mention that children were locked in there without proper clothing or blankets, leaving them in a state of intense discomfort and isolation. The punishment didn't stop at solitary confinement. It is said that Carmichael also forced children to crawl on their hands and knees across rough gravel or tied them up for extended periods. Her cruelty extended even to the youngest children, who reportedly endured equally abusive treatment. The stories became known to locals when some children attempted to run away, bruised and malnourished, which led to growing suspicions about what was happening within the orphanage walls. Carmichael's removal and investigation. Eventually, Rosa Carmichael's cruelty could no longer be ignored. When the townspeople became aware of the horrors happening inside the orphanage, they pressed for an investigation. In 1876, authorities looked into the claims and ultimately dismissed Carmichael from her position. However, she never faced legal consequences for her alleged crimes, and her legacy of cruelty continued to haunt those left behind. The orphanage closed its doors permanently in the 1880s, but Carmichael's dark impact had already set a foundation for the hauntings that many believe linger to this day. Ghostly encounters and paranormal experiences. The horrors of the past seem to have left an imprint on the Gettysburg Orphanage. Over the years, it has become one of the most well-known haunted sites in Gettysburg, with numerous paranormal experiences reported by visitors and ghost hunters alike. The shadowy figure of Rosa Carmichael. One of the most commonly reported apparitions in the orphanage is a shadowy female figure believed to be Rosa Carmichael herself. Many visitors have claimed to see this shadowy woman standing at the top of the stairs or lurking in the basement where the dungeon still exists. Paranormal investigators have noted cold spots and sudden drops in temperature near where her figure is said to appear, adding an eerie realism to her alleged presence. Some visitors have even reported feeling a sudden, oppressive sensation, as if a heavy weight has been placed on their chest when they enter the basement, which they believe to be Rosa's spirit warning them not to venture further. Rosa's spirit is often described as lingering with a sense of vigilance, as if guarding her territory in the basement where so many horrific punishments took place. Children's cries and apparitions. One of the most unsettling aspects of the Gettysburg Orphanage is the persistent sound of children's voices. Witnesses claim to hear the faint cries of children echoing through the orphanage, especially near the basement area. Some visitors report hearing the soft sound of children whispering or even weeping. Others say they've heard the unmistakable sound of chains rattling, an auditory reminder of the chains that once confined the children in the dungeon. Apparitions of children have also been reported. Some visitors claim to have seen ghostly figures of young boys and girls in old-fashioned clothing. A few accounts mention that these apparitions seem to be drawn to certain areas, particularly the basement and hallways, where they are said to vanish as suddenly as they appear. Visitors have described these encounters as both heart-wrenching and terrifying, as the spirits seem to carry an air of sadness and fear, as if reliving their torment. Paranormal investigations and findings. Several paranormal investigations have been conducted at the Gettysburg Orphanage, with numerous recordings of strange and unexplainable phenomena. Ghost hunters have reported capturing eerie EVPs, electronic voice phenomena, with faint voices saying, "Help me," or "Let me go." Some investigators have claimed to capture video footage of flickering lights or shadows darting across the room when no one else was present. In one particularly chilling investigation, a paranormal team placed a recorder in the basement and picked up sounds that resembled children crying. The recordings also included heavy footsteps that seemed to echo throughout the basement. In another investigation, several visitors described feeling sudden drafts of cold air and a sense of dizziness, especially around the dungeon cell. Temperature readings during these incidents often plummeted inexplicably, indicating the possible presence of spirits. The modern-day orphanage, a haunted destination. The Gettysburg Orphanage is now a popular stop on many ghost tours through the area, drawing countless visitors eager to experience the paranormal for themselves. Some visitors come out of curiosity, while others visit to pay their respects to the memory of the children who endured suffering here. The basement dungeon remains a focal point of the tour, where guides recount Rosa Carmichael's cruel rule and the horror experienced by the children. For those who believe in ghosts, the orphanage offers an unsettling glimpse into the pastor place where tragedy and horror have left a permanent scar on history. For skeptics, the eerie experiences in the basement and beyond remain unexplained, giving them a reason to question what forces might still be at work in the old building. Whether or not one believes in ghosts, the haunted reputation of the Gettysburg Orphanage stands as a chilling reminder of a time when the vulnerable were left unprotected, leaving scars that perhaps even death could not erase. If you're captivated by stories of haunted places and eerie history, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the TerrorTourGuide channel. By subscribing, you'll be the first to uncover even more chilling tales and haunted locations. Ready to experience the Gettysburg Orphanage hauntings firsthand? Click the link in the description below to book your own haunted tour and walk the very halls where these eerie events took place. The Haunted Orphanage. Ghostly Tour offers an unforgettable experience as you step into the chilling world of the Gettysburg Orphanage. Led by knowledgeable guides, this tour takes you through the dimly lit corridors and into the eerie basement, where countless stories of torment and paranormal activity have unfolded. As you explore the very rooms that once housed frightened children, and the ruthless headmistress, you'll hear spine-tingling tales of their experiences, from the ghostly whispers to the shadowy figures that have been spotted by both visitors and investigators. With each step, the atmosphere thickens, and you may find yourself feeling an unsettling presence lurking nearby. As night falls, the tour becomes even more intense, allowing you to embrace the haunting energy that lingers within the orphanage. Bring your courage and an open mind. This is not just a history lesson, but a first-hand encounter with the unknown. Don't miss your chance to immerse yourself in this chilling adventure. Click the link in the description below to secure your spot on the Haunted Orphanage Ghostly Encounter Tour and prepare for a night of spine-tingling thrills. In closing, the National Orphans Homestead in Gettysburg is a place where history and horror are intertwined. The cruelty that occurred within its walls has left behind a disturbing legacy, one that continues to live on through the spirits that are said to roam the building. With its shadowy figures, chilling cries, and unexplained phenomena, the Gettysburg Orphanage remains one of the most unsettling haunted sites in America. A place where history's whispers of suffering and sorrow can still be heard by those who dare to listen.